Since January of this year, more than 400 anti-LGBTQ plus laws have been introduced at the state level. That number is rising and demonstrates a trend that could be dangerous.
Does a kid, an 11-year-old kid, know about how good dick is? You know, if it's a male child. What does an 11-year-old child know about sex and how pleasurable the dick can be? But before he gets to realize this, there is some agenda lurking in the area who is going to prevent that. We don't know what they are trying to achieve.
You accepted bribes, President Biden.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the corner. I have observed the United States as a country and how they behave. You see, the United States, I would say, is not really a country. The United States, it's a land, it's a platform where the rich have power to control the world. So it is not the White House that control America. It is the businessmen, the big corporations that have lobby power. You see, all of these politicians you see in Washington, one way or the other, are in the pocket of someone. So you see, this is where the idea of democracy is complex. And there are a lot of complexities around it, and one has to be very careful when it comes to talking about democracy. You see, America has this habit of imposing their will on other countries when in the United States everything is not as they pretend it to be. Like in the case of the LGBTQ law that they are pounding Uganda, you know, for. They are doing it in Florida. You see, Governor Dos Santos have signed more than 10 anti-LGBTQ laws, you know, laws that facilitate for kids like 10 years, you know, 11 years old to have gender transplant. What does a kid, an 11-year-old kid, know about how good dick is? You know, if it's a male child. What does an 11-year-old child know about sex and how pleasurable the dick can be? But before he gets to realize this, there is some agenda lurking in the area who is going to prevent that. We don't know what they are trying to achieve, but we know that they are doing it. That's why here in this corner, we always talk about this stuff that needs to be talked about. Here in this corner, you will not hear me talking about the latest fashion trend out there, or the latest music, or the whatever it is that they try to invent to distract us from talking about actual things that are really happening. So at this time, we have come to the realization that America is not a role model. We should not let America dictate to other countries about human rights violation. When every day somewhere in the United States, a black man is being incarcerated for no reason. Every day somewhere in the United States, a black man is being shot because of his race, because he's black, because he was enslaved, he was kidnapped, he was trafficked from Africa into the United States, and they misuse him. Every time they see him, they feel guilty. In order to get rid of this guilt, we need to exterminate them.
He's the one that persuaded Malcolm.
That is the main purpose to African leaders. Before they exterminate all of us, do something. You guys have been sitting in the background for way too long. You have all the mineral resources, you have the manpower, you are strong. There's 1.4 billion Africans who are ready to work in factories. We are ready to join the military to fight for Africa. We are ready to have one united African army that is ready to defend all the four corners of Africa against terrorism and foreign invaders. This one African army will be strong enough to fight other countries who are misusing us black people, who are killing us. It's because they think we don't have an army to fight. We do. We are stronger than them. Let's make this army and they will stop. It's not like they don't know we are stronger than them. It's because we don't do anything. They know we are stronger than them, but we don't do anything. And they make sure that happens. But it's high time us Africans are waking up to this realization. America should stop their hegemony, and America should stop imposing their wills on African countries, because America is not a good role model. Yeah, America is the only country that have used nuclear weapon. All they do is talk about Russia and the threat Russia is threatening mankind. Who is provoking nuclear war? Who is expanding NATO eastwards after you gave Russia your commitment for 30 years ago for not expanding 1 inch eastwards? You have expanded more than 5 times since that statement. Now Finland and Sweden too, if they are not careful, they are going to become the next Ukraine, because security guarantee needs to be offered to Russia. You might say I'm a pro-Russian or pro-this, pro-that, but at this time I don't think you need to be surprised, because you know where us Africans stand. Western Europeans, they are selfish and their mentality is dangerous. We should be afraid of them. They think they have the God-given right to kill all of us. They think they have the God-given right to control the rest of us. These Europeans, for them to keep this hegemony they have built through slavery and through colonialism, they are desperate to the point that they will exterminate a whole country who is against their hegemony. Example, look at what they did to Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. Libya was the most prosperous nation in Africa. They made allegations against him, the so-called human rights allegations that they violate every blessed day in America. But nobody comes to America and say, you are violating human rights in this place. For that case, we need a regime change in the United States, because the United States is violating black people. The United States is violating Latinos. The United States is violating the Chinese. You see, one way or the other, either through their media or how they behave with one or how they behave when they see you. You see, this needs to stop, and it's high time. No, this needs to stop. Watch out, this is the new world order, the multipolar world order. We crash the pyramid. There is no more motherfucker sitting on the top of the pyramid and the rest of us are at the bottom. It's a multipolar world order. Like it or not. Peace.